The exchange variation of the French defense is known to be one of the most drawish lines in chess. But today I'm going to teach you guys one of the lines that I really like to make this opening a bit more interesting if you're playing black and to give you some winning chances. So it all starts when your opponent plays, of course, the move e4 and you play e6. This is the starting position of the French defense. And if your opponent plays e4, you play d5 and they take the pawn, they started the exchange variation, which is known to be one of the most drawish lines in chess. But if you play this line right here, you're gonna have some winning chances because it's gonna be a very interesting game, very fun and attacking game as well. So when you take the pawn back and your opponent plays, let's say knight f3, you are not going to mimic the same moves and playing a very symmetrical position. No, you're going to go for something a little bit different. You're gonna play bishop to d6, breaking the symmetry right away. So you're developing a different piece here and expecting your opponent to do what they usually do, develop their bishop. This is the typical move from white in the French exchange. And the next move is going to be castling, rook e1, they're going to play c3, develop the knight. Very, very basic and simple moves. But here you're going to surprise your opponent by playing knight to e7. Okay, so this move comes with a very simple idea. Your opponent's next move is going to be castling, and then they're going to bring the rook here with check. So we're going to move this knight here to block this check, so we have time to develop the queenside pieces, and we're going to castle queenside. Yes, you heard that right. We're going to castle queenside and pawn storm against our opponents. My arrows are totally wrong here. We're going to pawn storm against our opponent. So our goal here is to castle opposite sides and pawn storm. So opponent's gonna probably castle here, and we're gonna play knight b to c6, surprising our opponent because they are expecting us to castle here in this position. And after they play, let's say, c3, giving more support to the central pawn, we're gonna play bishop to g4, pinning the knight to the queen. And here, there are some typical moves that white can go for here, but the best move according to the engine is knight b to d2. And if they play that move, we're just going to develop our queen, queen to d7, preparing the queenside castling here, and after, let's say, rook e1, we castle queenside with the clear plan of pawn storming here on the king side. So that's exactly the plan we have here. We're going to castle opposite sides, and we all know that when we castle opposite sides, we have a very sharp, tactical, and attacking game. And if you look at this position, you wouldn't even guess that it comes from a French exchange variation, right? Because it's very, very sharp with opposite side castling, winning chances for both sides. So here, back in this position, instead of playing knight b to d2, white can also play bishop g5, with this idea of kind of pinning the knight here, but we can quickly kick this bishop away by playing f6, which is a very simple move, and we want to advance these pawns anyway, so we're actually winning a tempo over this bishop, which is going to retreat somewhere, probably to h4. This is the most popular move. It's not the best according to the engine, but according to the Lead Chess database, this is the most popular move played by white in the non-master level, amateur level. So our next move here is going to be, again, queen to d7 to clear the way. For queenside castling, after knight b to d2, we're going to castle queenside. And after, let's say, b4, advancing and trying to pawn storm against us, we are going to start attacking, knight f5. Hitting the bishop might drop back, we can take the bishop. Here, engine says that taking with the bishop instead of the knight is a little bit better, but you can take with the knight, it's not really bad. But the engine prefers a little bit taking with the bishop. And after takes, we can play h5 with the clear plan of advancing, to h4. And if white takes, we can capture this pawn because, they cannot recapture with the knight here because of the pin. So we have a very strong attack here with this rook. We can always go ahead and double up, bring the other rook to the game, or maybe bring it to the open file. We have a very strong attack going on here. And of course, there's always that moment where your opponent might play, let's say here in this position, they can go and play, for example, h3 to try and kick your bishop away. We are not going to trade here the bishop for the knight. We can just bring this bishop back. And if, let's say, white take this bishop, we can just take back with the knight, and we have a great position. It's a great game for us as well. And we're going to prepare our expansion on the king side, because our plan here is to just develop the queen side pieces and have a very strong attack here against white on the king side with opposite side castling and a very sharp attacking game with pawn storming and all sorts of attacks and possible checkmates. So guys, if you want to make the French exchange more exciting and more fun to play and more attacking, I think this variation is great if you're playing black. So if you start playing this and you have some good results, please comment down below and leave your opinion about this variation. And if you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I see you guys in the next video.